Am I live? Hello, people out there. Happy Saturday. Yes. Matter of fact, it's Saturday morning, isn't it? Yeah, 10 a.m. Ooh, I'm early. Okay. I'm early, but the verdict is in. It's all over YouTube. It's on the news. Okay. Yes. Guilty. Guilty on all three counts. Okay. And now, oh, and this is in regards to Tim Norman, okay? Hey, Gemini. Yes, okay. Now what came on yesterday, but I slept all day. But it was all over YouTube, okay? So I'm pretty sure, you guys get on here, you're gonna see, okay, everybody is talking about the verdict. And a lot of people agree with it. As a matter of fact, I haven't run across anyone as of yet that did not agree about it. Now, somebody asked who was Tim. Tim Norman is the person who was on the reality show Welcome to Sweetie Pies, and Miss Robbie was actually the star of the show. It's her restaurants, but he was her son, and the victim, was her grandson. So her son killed, okay, or excuse me, conspired to have her son, which would be his nephew, his own flesh and blood, killed, okay, behind insurance, getting the insurance money, okay. I'm pretty sure there was other things behind it too, because he was jealous. Now, the family spoke out finally after the court, after the verdict, okay, and that is on Chronicle Speaks, the what is it, the randomness of veil, and then there was somebody else, okay. So these are YouTube channels you can click on. Hey, Lakeisha, you can click on these channels, and if you haven't seen it already, because they have the actual family members right there in front of the court, telling you a little bit more of what was really going on behind the scenes as far as Miss Robbie and the situation between Miss Robbie and Andre, her grandson, okay, who was killed by his uncle, which was Miss Robbie's son. Okay. Now, if you're not familiar with Miss Robbie was one of the backup singers for Ike and Tina Turner. Okay. They were called the Ike X. I think they got one or two records or songs that they came out with back in the day. They tried to do a, like Prince did with Vanity Six. Okay. And Rick James did with the what was his group name? Um, well, the Rick James girls. I forgot the name, but yeah. So they tried to do that with the Ikettes back in the day, and it was a flop. But they did have a couple of songs out. Okay, and Miss Robbie, okay, decided to take her money because she had her lung collapse. So she could no longer sing like she was singing when she was in the group. Okay. And she used the money to open up a restaurant. It was successful. She opened up another restaurant. Okay. Now, here's the thing behind the restaurants. Okay. Miss Robbie wanted to open up, I guess, her dream restaurant, which was called the Upper Crust. Right. That would have been a third restaurant. But what happened was, one of the restaurants that she was running that was already open, okay, they, instead of them staying there, they went to the Upper Crust. So that restaurant was losing money, okay, and the Upper Crust was gaining money. You see how that went? So they thought they were going to get their own set of people for this restaurant, but they didn't. The people came over from one restaurant and went to the other. So what she did was she closed what she got, she calls one the Grove, and what was the other restaurant? I forgot what name she called it. Okay, but that was the original one. She left the original one open and the newer one open, and she closed the second restaurant. Okay, so she has two restaurants instead of three. Okay. Her son, she had two sons. One was killed, and he had a little boy. At the time, the little boy was like a year old. Or matter of fact, he might have been younger. I think he might have been 6 months old. And he left behind a son, and the son was Andre. Okay. So that left Miss Robbie with one son, which was Tim Norman. Okay. Now, the thing about this Tim Norman and the Montgomerys, okay, you're going to hear two different names. Montgomery is Andre. Okay. And Miss Robbie, hey, Beauty Over 50, Miss Robbie, the Mary Jane girls, right? Yeah, that was Rick James, the Mary Jane girls. Okay. Miss Robbie, excuse me. Okay, I just lost my train of thought, but I'm about to get it back real quick. Okay, because we was talking about her two sons. Okay, so she lost a son. Okay, he was murdered, and so she was left with Tim. Okay, and then she had her grandson. That's the only kids. Tim did not have any kids at the time. When he went to prison and did that 10-year bid, he didn't have kids yet. So the only grandkids that she had was Andre. Okay. Now, Charles is a little older. They're around him. Andre and Charles are around the same age. That's why they get it confused that Charles is Miss Robbie's grandson. And I'm talking in reference to the show Sweetie Pies, because I was a faithful watcher. Okay. And Charles is not Miss Robbie's grandson, but her nephew. He belongs to one of her sisters. Okay, one of her sisters are running the one of her restaurants. Okay, well, that's Charles' mother. Okay, and I believe it's the one with the gray hair. I'm not sure, but yes, that's Charles' mother. Okay, uh so Charles is not would not be Tim's nephew, but rather his cousin. Okay. He had two cousins, Monique and Charles. Monique was older. Monique was closer to Tim. Okay. And then there's that big gap. And then there's Charles. Okay. So Charles came along, okay, along the time that Andre was born. Okay, so that's why people get confused and they think that Charles and Andre are Miss Robbie's grandsons, but they're not. One is the nephew, Charles is the nephew, and Andre is the grandson. Now, Andre was a Montgomery, okay, and I don't know what was so big about the Montgomery name, okay, but he was a Montgomery nonetheless. And he was the last of the Mohegans, okay? He was the last of the Montgomerys to carry that name because he was a male, okay? Tim was a Norman. He was not a Montgomery. They got two different baby daddies going on here, okay? Right? Tim's dad was also murdered, okay? So we have this family, okay, with a violent history as far as them being murdered, okay? I'm pretty sure they were no angels, and I'm pretty sure Miss Robbie was no angel either, okay? So that's just a little backstory on this on the Welcome to Sweetie Pies. Okay. So now we're going to get into the dirt on the guilty verdict. Okay. And feel free to put your opinions in the comment section here in the chats. Okay. We welcome decisions. Don't forget to thumbs up the video, because I know sometimes you guys forget, you get to listening and stuff, because I know I do. Okay. And what do you think? Do you agree with the verdict? Okay. Do you agree with this guilty verdict? Now, there were some things that came out from Andre's side of the family, his mother, his sister, and his aunt, okay, on how he was treated. I don't know if I look a little dark to you guys. Okay. There we go. And they came out with some things, okay, that was pretty interesting. Okay, they were talking about how Miss Robbie was actually treating Andre right before he got murdered, and how she, because of this lie detector test, and him avoiding taking the lie detector test, okay, and she was cussing him out, honey, okay, calling him MFers, and she don't give a F about him no more, okay, and all this because she's mad because he didn't take the lie detector test. He didn't call her back. He didn't call her back, okay, right, in regards to the lie detector test. Now, I'm not sure if Tim took a lie detector test. I thought he took it, okay, and passed. I'm not sure, but I think it was really kind of messed up. They also touched on, okay, I was talking about in my last live, we were talking about how Tim Norman had got Andre an apartment, okay. The family said they were talking about the apartment that Tim got for Andre. They said that it was a rundown, raggedy, okay, apartment, okay, and it was real small, and it was right next door to the condo. Was it a condo or penthouse that Tim was staying in? Okay, now this is important, okay, because I just thought he got a apartment somewhere in town. Okay, yeah, he got him this little rinky-dink apartment. Okay, with some old furniture. They said the bed looked like one of those army cots. Okay, oh yeah, honey, yes, boo boo, right? He was paying for him to go to the school, the Nelly School of Arts. Okay, and Andre stopped going. Okay. So they said that Andre stopped going. Tim stopped paying for the apartment. So I guess he was paying the rent. He stopped paying the rent for the apartment because Andre had dropped out and woo, woo, woo. Right? Okay. Now, keeping that in mind, Andre is telling his grandmother that he's afraid. Okay, it's not that he doesn't want to take the lie detector test. I am afraid of what Tim will do to me. So if he's afraid of what Tim, yeah, they saying that because he got the insurance policy out on him. Okay, if he wanted him dead, I mean, if he was threatening him, okay, I mean, this isn't the first rodeo with Andre and Tim getting into it. And I seen it on the show. You can tell on the show because him and Charles, okay, running to Miss Robbie, they were scared and they were upset and they were crying. Okay, so he's trying to explain to his grandmother that I am afraid of Tim and what he will do to me. Okay, she didn't care about that. Okay, now here's my thing. Okay, and this is my personal opinion of it. in regards to the lie detector test, and it was $220,000, okay, that she said was missing. Apparently, $200,000 was some cash that she had stashed, okay, for a rainy day. She said, I forgot what she said exactly. The $200,000 she had, because they were wondering, why would you keep $200,000 cash in your house, okay, or in a safe in your house, okay? And I forgot what she said, but it was a savings for a rainy day. It was some money she was stashing, okay, instead of keeping it in the bank. I got money in the bank, but this was some more money, okay, that was aside from the bank, because she's old school. She back in them days when the banks went broke too, okay, right? And hey Pam, hey girl, hey. Okay, thanks for the thumbs up. Now, if this money is missing, I got this son who done served 10 years in the pen, okay, been sitting up here putting up restaurants and stuff like that in my name behind my back without my permission. And I had to sue him. Now my house is robbed. Okay. You know he owed money and you don't give him a lie detector test. Okay. It's just the nephew. How the nephew. Oh, anyway, that's my thoughts about it. Everybody I knew. Matter of fact, my sister who runs the restaurant, okay, all and my other sister and everybody on the show, matter of fact, okay, would be taking a lie detector test. Anybody who was coming to my house. You see what I'm saying? That's only common sense. But you just got Andre taking it. You know Tim is whispering in his mama's ear because he has the closest access to his mother. So anyway, let's go back on that apartment in the school and Andre dropping out of the school and abandoning the apartment. Okay. If I'm being threatened and I'm afraid from what my uncle may do to me, okay, I'm not going to stay in the apartment either. Right next door to my uncle, who knows where I live and I'm coming and going, okay, he left and went back to Texas. You see what I'm saying? So when you think about it, it all makes sense. Okay. Now don't quote me on that. Okay. I'm just summarizing and I'm just using my own theory as well and putting it out there because what it is that they're making it like Andre is this bad person. Okay. I don't know him personally. Okay. So I don't know what he is, but I'm coming up with a logical scenario that could have happened, okay, in advance to Tim trying to paint him as this bad person in the streets playing with guns and running with who knows what, okay, right? Uh, and he dropped out of school and he abandoned his apartment, okay? Now, if I was afraid in the fear of my life of this very person, okay, I wouldn't be staying in, I'm sorry, I wouldn't be staying in the apartment either, okay? Yes, free rent, okay, does not compare to my life. Especially when I could go back home. Okay, if you disagree with me, that's fine too. As a matter of fact, now we talking on disagreement. Somebody said that they were unsubscribing to me because of what I said about the Queen. Okay. Now, let me just say, I really don't care. Okay. Because I don't. I'm just being honest. But people, you guys are too grown. Okay. To be sitting up here and I don't like what you said, so I'm unsubscribing. Oh, she said something bad. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. You guys are too grown. I'm not perfect, and neither are you. Okay? So if you don't like something I said, okay, I didn't say it to hurt your feelings. Okay, and I don't know what I said about the Queen, okay, that made you want to even write a comment, but you guys are too grown for that. Okay. I watch YouTube channels. I watch people. There's people that I like on here, and they've said things that I don't agree with, but that's no reason to unsubscribe and even tell them I'm unsubscribing to you. Okay. Oh my God. You guys are too grown for that. So I just thought I'd put that out there. Okay. But check out the tea. Okay. Did you check out? I don't know because, like I said, go to Chronicle Speaks, uh, Randomless Veil, and what is that other lady's name? Okay, on here because they actually have the family out of the courtroom and speaking in front of the court and telling what I'm telling you, okay, about the Andre and Miss Robbie situation, honey. Let me see what's the name of that. Try to get the oh yeah, the name of no, that's barbershop talk. Okay. Um, because I mean, since I'm on it, ooh, KMOV St. Louis, D Watts, D Watts. And that is D Watts with one T, not two T's. WATS, D Watts. Okay. So you can go over there and check that out too. But check this out. Now, the girl was talking, was it the yeah, the sister, the sister. Now I don't know if she's the older sister or younger sister. I don't think now Andre is the only boy. I believe he was the only boy. It was two girls, and I think Andre was the only boy. So that was her only son. And she was talking about uh, Andre's funeral, right? And she was talking about how Miss Robbie, okay, and Tim were acting at the little boy's funeral, how they were whispering under their breath, but they could hear him, right? Okay. And she said that I believe she was Tim. So you couldn't hear the whole everything real clear because they were outside and the wind was blowing. Okay, but she said that they were whispering. I guess they were behind either her, maybe somebody else that overheard it. Okay, and he said, they're crying at the funeral and stuff like that. And I believe it was Tim said, I don't know what they crying for. The nigga wasn't anyways. I'm like, what? He said, what? That's not something you say to anybody's funeral. I don't care. Woman, you just don't say something like that at a funeral. You don't say nothing about somebody dead and murdered, and you, oh, I don't know what they crying for. He wasn't it anyway. Girl, I was like, wait a minute. Oh my goodness, girl. That's not good. That was bad. That was bad. He's referring. They at the nephew's funeral, and this is what he's saying. Because they crying, okay, and stuff. Of course they gonna be crying, but you talking about I don't know what they crying for at the boy's funeral. Oh my God. Yes, Robbie's grandson. That would make him Tim's nephew. Okay. Yeah. So while they want you to think that he was a dropout, okay, and and ungrateful, the boy could have been running in fear of his life because he was afraid. Okay. Now, why he couldn't have took the test out there, I don't know. I don't know what they told him, but they know. They know. Okay. But that okay. Now I told you Miss Robbie wasn't she wasn't all no angel because she got that twinkle in her eye. Okay. Say, but that's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. Now, he is going to be sentenced on the 15th of December. He is facing up to life. Now, they took the death penalty off the table. Okay. I'm interested into seeing what those the other people are going to be getting because they're supposed to be sentenced this month. Let me see if I can find out. Yeah, that just and the apartment and see I'm thinking it was the apartment somewhere it they said it was right next to Tim's condo. Okay, and they got him some old rundown it was real small, so I don't even know if it could have been a I don't know, it wasn't no guest room. Okay, with a cot, not a bed, a cot. What was that boy's oops, what was that boy's last name? Let me go back. Let me go back because okay, Erica, Terica. I know her name. Terica Ellis. I believe that was her name. Right. Okay, Terica Ellis. Excuse me, I spelled it wrong. And then the thing about it was Tim, okay, uh, they caught him in a couple of lies, okay, and I think too that's what had a lot to do that swayed the jury, okay, was because he got caught in a couple of lies on the stand, okay. He said that he used the $10,000, okay, he gave it to that girl, the stripper, it was not for payment of the murder, but it was for her to start a business, okay. He says that he was not in St. Louis, he was in California when his phone records proved otherwise. Okay. He also said that he did not give the boy the $5,000, but they got it on tape, on the jailhouse tape. And somebody named, I didn't forgot his name because I'm thinking about it. But they also had somebody testify that he had gave Tim gave him $5,000 to give to this boy. Okay. Now, and he said he didn't know what it was for. He said, I know it was $5,000. Give it to him. Okay. He says, for me. He said, I didn't ask no questions. I just did what I was asked to do, and I gave him the $5,000. Okay. So he probably found out later when the police, I'm pretty sure they came knocking at his door. Do you think there's more to this story other than the insurance money? I think there's quite a bit to this story other than the insurance money, okay? But the insurance money was the main target, okay, as far as how he was going to get that money, because the insurance money was 200,000, but it doubled, okay, if the boy died accidentally. Okay. And the thing about it, that to me, being murdered was not an accident. However, it depends on what they considered an accident. Okay. You see what I'm saying? And there was a $50,000 rider on that policy that if he died within, I don't know, was it 10 years, 5 years? He would get an extra 50,000. So that comes out to 450,000. You see what I'm saying? So yes, there was other things that was behind this insurance fraud. Now, the family says that Tim was jealous of Andre, and it was something about I couldn't say because the wind was blowing, but it was something about the Montgomery name. Okay. See, because his mom goes by Montgomery. She does not go by Norman. Okay. She goes by Robbie Montgomery. Okay. Now, why she doesn't go by Norman, I don't know. I don't know what the situation is, but they hold they hold the Montgomery name in higher esteem, if that makes sense. Okay. And apparently they were jealous about that. Okay. So to me, that's what she said. To me, Tim was just one of them jealous, okay, folks anyway. Okay. The mentality he had the typical gangbanger mentality. Okay. He tried not to show it on TV. Miss Robbie was never married. I don't know if she was never married, but I do know that she goes by the name of Montgomery. Okay. Now, that could be her maiden name. I don't know. I don't know. That is the name she goes by. And Andre was the last of the Montgomerys. So maybe that was the reason why he was held in a higher esteem. He was the last of the Mohegans. She was looking up to him to carry on the name. And I remember she said that in one of her reality episodes, okay, looking forward to him reproducing and carrying on the family name, which, okay, he would have to produce a son to do that. But nevertheless, she held that name in higher esteem than the Norman. Now, Tim, I think it wasn't, they're saying the names, I don't know, okay? But I think that him and Charles, because she spoke of both of them. She spoke them. I can't think of the word, but she spoke of both of them usually, okay, at the same time in the same reference, okay, as far as those restaurants were concerned and running the restaurants, okay. And I think that was intimidating to Tim, especially since he was a F up. You see what I'm saying? He was an F up. He wasn't running the businesses right. He was creating businesses, okay, without her permission. He was being sued, okay, not just by Miss Robbie, but he was being sued to some other place. Like I told you, those restaurants that he was trying to open in LA. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the situation in LA was he had made an agreement, signed the agreement, the rental agreement, okay, and then wanted to turn around and said, oh, this is not right, this is not right, this is after the fact. See what I'm saying? Okay. And then got mad and didn't want to pay the rent, and they sued him because you can't do that. He should have went in there and made them make any corrections first. Then you sign the agreement. But he signed the agreement first and then expected them to make all these changes, okay, and whatever violations that he said was a violation, and apparently they didn't do it or whatever. But it has something to do with him signing that agreement, okay, before he went in there, okay, and saw what was wrong. Okay, so Montgomery is her maiden name. Okay, so that I can see that. I can see that. Okay, Montgomery is her maiden name, but that was the name. They were married men. Ooh, okay. Well, they said she was messing around with Ike. Okay, the little girls, the Ikeettes, okay, apparently was sleeping around with Ike, Tina Turner's husband, too. Okay, and I'm not surprised. Okay, you know how that goes back in the day. But like I said, okay, don't be fooled because she got that twinkle in her eye. And I seen the twinkle a couple of times. I don't know if you noticed it, but I noticed it. But anyway, did they ever talk about the relationship between Tim and his deceased brother? No, I don't hear about that relationship. Now, I don't think, I'm not really aware of this way. I don't know how, let me see, how far apart they were. Let's check it out. Robbie Montgomery children. Oh, wow. He was only 24. Wait, no, he was 34. 34. Oh, he was grown, when he was killed. The Andre's dad. Uh, I don't know about if Tim was jealous of his older brother, but okay, I could see Tim being jealous because he didn't get the family name, so to speak. Okay. And I don't know, because, some of the guys, like, if that's going to be my son, he's going to have my name. See what I'm saying? So he may have been aware that the other little boy was Montgomery, had her name. Well, he gonna have my name. See what I'm saying? But how a child comes up and they're brought up and they got the Montgomery and they got the Dorman. See what I'm saying? That can cause some animosity. I don't know about how him and his brother grew up. Well, I knew they grew up gang banging. Okay, but I think it was more jealousy on this little boy, okay, because maybe the way Miss Robbie talked about it, and he's not going to say anything, okay, because the little boy is much younger than he is. You know what I'm saying? He's a kid, okay. This little boy, I don't even think. Let me see. I don't know how old Andre was when Tim went to jail. Okay. But during that 10-year span, Andre apparently had spent time and had grown a relationship with Miss Robbie. Okay. And I think Tim was just jealous. Okay, let's just keep it real. Tim was just one of them jealous people. Okay. Tim's brother was in court. No, that was no. Tim's brother is dead. That's the whole point of this. That's really the scandalous part of this story. Not only did he sit up there and have a murder for hire, but the person that was murdered was his son, his brother's son. Nah, that was not. I think you might be mistaking him for Miss Robbie's new boo. Yeah, honey. Miss Robbie got her groove back. Yes. Let's look up these children. Okay. Yes. That wasn't yeah. And he had his arm around Miss Robbie in the courtroom. Yeah, that wasn't Tim's brother. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Now, Miss Robbie Montgomery was a backup vocalist, okay? And she sang for people like Stevie Wonder, Barbara Streisand, the Rolling Stones, Joe Cocker. Them were big names, honey. Big names. And she was born in Mississippi, but she moved to St. Louis. But she was born in Mississippi. But see, Mississippi and down there in Tennessee, that was the blues. Okay, you had to get up to Missouri, St. Louis, and that was blues too. Uh, um, what was R&B? Motown, Detroit. You had to get up in there. Okay, say okay, her family moved to St. Louis, Missouri. So that's how she ended up. She was born in Mississippi, but when she was 6 years old, the family moved to Missouri. So that's how she ended up in St. Louis. Okay, that's what that is. Okay, so Janice, Linda and Janice, she's got two sisters. I was telling you, she got two sisters. Now she got three brothers. One, wait, she got five brothers. She got five brothers, but there was three girls and her sisters, Linda and Janice, right? That running that restaurant. Uh 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 what's it called? Melgrove, Montgrove, something. That man Diddy was Tim's brother. Well, okay, see they're going okay, let me go somewhere else because okay. Okay. Here's the thing. Okay. Here's something you guys need to know. Okay. I don't think, Tim, I don't think they had too much of a relationship because right here it says that Andre in reference to Miss Robbie's son, Andre the dad. The grandson is named Andre too, but the dad's name is Andre. He was born in 1960. Okay. And then Tim was born in 1979. That's a big gap. They had nothing in common. Nothing. He was already 20 years old, okay, when his brother was born. Well, 19 to be exact. But he was already 20s in okay, when that's a big gap. They had nothing in common. Yeah. And to be, let's see, now when Andre was born, okay, he was I believe the man was about, because he died, Andre was only 6 months old, okay, when Andre Sr. passed, and he was 34 at the time. So to be that age for a man and have no kids, that's pretty good. He didn't have any kids. That was his only child. Okay. Now, let me tell you something else too. Okay. Even though Miss Robbie lost one of her sons, okay, Andre, the grandson, is still entitled to his dad's portion of the inheritance. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tim knew that. Okay. Miss Robbie was going to include him anyway. Okay. She was going to include him anyway. Right. But if she would have left, say if Miss Robbie passed and she left everything to Tim, Andre could come in and sue for his brother's portion of the inheritance. Okay. Because he's entitled to it. Mm-hmm. You can't do that. Yeah. So, okay, now they said that Miss Sweetie Pies is open in LA. Okay, as of April 28th of this year, that restaurant is still open. And it's open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Mm, I may have to go down there, but I'm not going to break my neck because I hear the food is, it's not bad, but it's nothing to write home about. Okay, so now if you want to get into it, oops, we can look up, if you want me to look it up, did Tim's dad, because Tim's dad was murdered too. He was on lunch and he was in the car, I guess, eating a sandwich, and somebody walked up and shot him in the head. And that was right over there. I believe it was down the street from where they lived in St. Louis. Mhm. Tim Norman's dad. Oh, the little boy. Now, Tim's son is 9 years old. Okay, he's 9 years old. Okay. And she was mad at Janae because she felt that Janae was keeping her from seeing the grandson. Okay. And she's excited about the grandson because, like I said, she only had that one, which is Andre. Okay. Now, Andre was still living when the little boy was born, but she was happy because she's got another grandchild. Okay. So, yeah, that's kind of effed up, huh? Now, Tim has two kids. Those are Miss Robbie's grandkids, okay? Right? Those are his kids only. Okay. She don't have no more grandkids from the Montgomery side. Because he didn't knocked him off. Okay. I'm trying to. Ooh, okay. Here we go. Ooh, what they say? James Timothy Norman Sr. That's Tim's dad. Okay. Tim's father was a killer who hung around other killers. That's what it said. Okay. He killed a beloved businessman named James Dyson. I didn't know that. In 1978, 1979, in the restroom of a place called Duke's Lounge on Grand Boulevard over drugs, shot in the head point blank 3 times. I didn't know that. Now, Dyson, okay, the person that he killed was not a drug dealer, he was a drug user. So maybe he owes some money. You know how that go. In the 1970s, after President Nixon went to China, heroin hit the city streets, and all Black people in her area were either selling or handling heroin. Okay, they used it to establish themselves. Yeah, Superfly and all that. We know back in them days. Okay, well, he was. They're basically what they're saying was he was another Superfly. He has a daughter, okay, who was 7 years old when he was murdered, okay, which means that Tim has an older, wait, yeah, Tim has an older sister because Tim, okay, here's the thing about it. Tim was not even born when his dad was killed. Okay, Miss Robbie was still pregnant with Tim when the dad was shot dead. Okay, so he never even knew his dad. Oh, now the little, wait a minute. Okay, wait. I think I got it wrong. Wait a minute now. Okay. No, that's not Tim's sister. The man that was killed in the lounge that his dad killed, okay? His daughter was 7 years old, okay, at the time. His daughter. And she was a big fan of Ike and Tina Turner's, okay? And she was not aware, okay, and she liked sweetie pies, but she was not aware that Tim's dad is the one who killed her father. The irony, okay. Oh, I love this me some sweetie pies and stuff, okay, and all that, just to find out that the person that you crazy about, one of your idols, okay, is your dad's killer. Okay, well, we trying to get into it, Johnny. We try. I'm working now here. Okay, and the guy that was killed, he knew Tina Turner. Okay, so he must have been one of them ones with money. I don't know what their situation was, but he knew the guy that Tim's father killed knew Tina Turner. So if he was familiar with Tina Turner, I'm pretty sure he got introduced to the backup singers. You know, I want to know the backup singer, the Ikeettes. Okay, Tina, let introduce me to your husband. You know, I want to know all the family. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Because you know you don't get that opportunity every day. Okay. Yeah, she was a big fan of sweetie pies and only learned recently that Tim's father murdered her father. The two fathers grew up together. Tim's father was a known thug, was never questioned or convicted for the murder. Oh, Tim's father also murdered, okay, another woman's fiance. And, okay, he has another brother that is alive. Tim is 15 years younger than him. So he has an older brother, 15 years older than him. And his older brother is also named Tim. So we got Timothy the third, the second, the third. Child. Okay, you're right. Tim the second. Tim the second is the older brother. Tim is a third. Okay? Timothy, James Timothy Norman the third. Okay. His mother was named, okay, so Tim's older brother, Tim, was named, his mother's name was Carol. And Carol was still married to Tim's father while Miss Robbie was messing with him. See, I was wondering, what it is about Miss Robbie. What did she do in her past that she's getting all this bad luck? Okay. Okay, yeah, okay. So I told you, Johnny, I was getting there. Okay. But I gotta explain what's going on to the viewers so we have understanding. Because like I said, this is messy. Messy. Okay. You see, now, and the thing about it is now you start getting an idea, okay, of some of the personalities. You don't know these people, okay? You don't know these people from a can of paint. And where they grew up and the dealings that the people that they were dealing with, okay, kind of gives you an idea that these people were no perfect angels. I'm turning on the air. Okay, we're no perfect angels. I'm not saying that they were devils. I'm not saying that they were bad people, but we could see that they were no angels. Okay, and I already knew, kind of figured that out when Miss Robbie would talk about how she grew up, in Detroit. St. Louis, how all these family members were murdered up and down that same street. Even Andre was murdered on that same street, okay? And she got family members. So she grew up in that element, okay? But I didn't know the dad was a murderer, and he wasn't no one-time murderer either, okay? You remember that song, I'm in love with a thug? Okay. See. Okay, I'm giving myself a break while I go back to reading this stuff because this is a lot. You got to get it in order because this is messy. Okay. See. Ooh. Okay. So these were older men. Okay, so she had Tim at an older age. I wonder how old was she when she had Tim? 1979. She was born. She was almost 40 years old because she was born in 1940. Okay, so 39. She was 40 years old when she had Tim. At that age, she probably wasn't even expecting to have any more kids. Okay? I'm just telling you from experience. That's all. Mm-hmm. So I'm soaking this up. I hope you guys are too. Okay, because I know a lot of you guys didn't know this either. Now Johnny knew. Johnny knew all the business. Hmm. In that case, we got to get on Andre's daddy. Hmm. So even though she was a Ike, okay, she was used to these type of men. Matter of fact, she probably was used to Ike. She probably and Tim's daddy, the drug dealer, she probably was carrying his drugs for him. Okay. Hmm. I mean, let's just keep it real. Okay. Let's just keep it real, people. Okay, here we go. I'm going back in. Oh, wow. Oh, now we still on Tim's dad, okay? Tim's dad was married. We got that. He was married to Carol. Miss Robbie, back in the day, Miss Robbie was telling people that Carol, Tim's James Timothy Norman Sr.'s wife, was his sister. That's what she was telling people. She was telling people that was his sister. His mother, okay, excuse me, Carol Ann, the wife, became an alcoholic. Okay, 10 to 15 years ago, I guess they don't know exactly, 10 to 15 years ago, she was so intoxicated that she ran her car through a Walmart store. Y'all listening? Okay, this is some tea. Now the little boy calls Miss Robbie mom. Okay. Now Tim had a daughter. Wait a minute. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. What we got? Oh, we got some more scandal in here. Wait, what? Okay. Oh, matter of fact, since you mentioned that, okay, since you mentioned that, Johnny, now that we have the verdict in, we got a guilty verdict. Andre's mother, she sued Tim for wrongful death. Okay, that's what you do next. Which I'm pretty sure the lawyer has made her aware because usually they wait for a verdict. You can sue somebody for wrongful death even if they get not guilty. Okay. I'm trying to think. Somebody was found not guilty, but they got sued. They were found guilty of wrongful death. I forget who it was. Because the thing about wrongful death is it's a civil matter. In a civil matter, okay, you don't base on evidence, but can be based on the circumstances. Okay. More than likely, yeah. Okay. That's with the civil. Okay. But anyway, this right here, I'm trying to get myself, ooh, child. Okay, now Tim's father also has a daughter. Okay. And I'm trying to, okay, Tim's father also had a daughter. Okay. So here's this story here. The mom, okay, the wife, James, okay, Tim's name is James Timothy Norman, not Tim, okay, or Timothy. It is James, but he goes by his middle name. Okay. Now, this lady who was married to James Timothy Sr. became an alcoholic. Okay. So she ran her car into a Walmart store, right? It does not say if she died as a result of that, but it does say she died. So Tim, the second, the older Tim, called her Miss Robbie mom. Okay. He called her mom because that was a mother figure in his life because he lost his mother. But if he lost her because of that accident or some other thing, it didn't say. It doesn't say. Okay. And we're not going to go into that right now because we still got to keep this straight, what I'm about to say to y'all. And I'm going to let you figure it out. Okay, Johnny. Right. Okay, that's who it was. O.J. Simpson. Okay, he was found liable for wrongful death, but he was acquitted. Okay, in the actual courtroom. That's who it was. You're right. You're right. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Okay, now it says Kamora Lee Simmons' father. She calls him Joseph, but the internet says his real name is Verdct Whitlock. Okay? They show a picture of him. He was a federal transporter of prisoners. Oh, he was a prison guard. Kamora's father was the first African American deputy federal marshal of St. Louis, Missouri. Joseph Vernon Whitlock raped a woman prisoner that was being transported. Now, I don't know. I'm reading it to you because I don't know what this has to do. We got to keep reading. He raped a woman prisoner that was being transported. The woman conceived his child. DNA testing confirmed paternity, and he was fired from his job. His wife, Ruth, okay, now his wife is listed as Ruth, used to ride with Joseph to transport prisoners. Now, what all this has to do, am I on to something? What does this have to do with Miss Robbie? Okay. So I don't look. Okay, there's some scandal here, and okay, I'm having a hard time figuring out because they're jumping. Okay, they jump into the story about Kamora Lee. Okay, uh, who was the daughter. Okay, so apparently he raped this woman. Okay, and now okay, so now okay, he was shot dead in 2019. He was 69. Smooth Man and his brother Smokey murdered Tim's father before Tim the Third was born, right around the corner from where Andre Montgomery died. Now this is the father Andre. In two wait, no, this is the grandson, right around the corner from where Andre was shot over drugs. Oh, girl. Okay. Look. Okay. Y'all brace for what I'm about to tell y'all because see, the story jumps. They mention this daughter, Kimora Lee. Okay. I guess they're telling you that Kimora is Tim's sister. I don't know. But it jumps into the story of Kimora Lee. Okay. Right? They're explain. I don't know. Okay. But what I do summarize right here. Okay, is this man called Eddie Smooth Man, they call him Smooth Man, and his brother murdered Timothy, that's in jail, that just got convicted for murdering his nephew. Okay, this man and his brother are the ones who murdered Tim's father. Okay, hold on to that. Murdered Tim's father. This has to do with drugs, they say. That's what it says, okay? The man, he had a business too. Back in 2019, in June of 2019, two men walked into Smooth's business and shot him dead. And rumor has it, allegedly, that Tim, that just got convicted for conspiracy to kill his nephew, was allegedly had him killed. Allegedly. Do you follow me here? Because we got to stop and y'all got to absorb this. Y'all got any questions? Okay. Oh, yes, the plot thickens. Okay, I didn't know all this now. We started off with the trial verdict. Okay, now we end up with, wait a minute. Okay, not only well, they say you got found guilty for killing your nephew, but allegedly you killed the man that killed your father. Okay, now what's going on in these stories that I'm telling you, okay, is that these men are murderers, but they weren't convicted murderers, okay? You know how the rumor has it, everybody knows everybody, okay, where she grew up. And so had so, okay? Now, I don't know, black on black crime. I don't know if it was, there's a lot of crime in Detroit too, okay? So I don't know if that had anything to do with them not going into and convicting or doing an investigation, okay? But they were not convicted, but rumor has it. Yeah, okay. Y'all got that? No questions? Wow, this is crazy. This is freaking crazy. I tell you. Okay. I knew it. I knew. Woo! Wait till I get on the phone to my girlfriend, honey. Okay. She gonna be shocked to hear all this. Okay. Not the I get. Wow. They say, now I'm not surprised. Brace yourself. Allegedly, they say Miss Robbie used to be a gangster. That's what it says. Let me tell you what I read. This is Lipstick Alley. This is Lipstick Alley. Okay. They got the okay, they even got the news, article, okay, posted with the man on He was on 10 most wanted list. Okay, arrested on sex abuse charges. That is apparently the dad. Now, what? Uh, so why it jumps to Kamora Lee? Okay, so I don't know if that's. I have to look that up. But this is crazy. I got to get my other source of get my iPad. Oh, Johnny, you ain't no good. Okay, y'all see what she said? I wonder did Miss Robbie finance that hit? Mhm. That's a trip. That's a trip. This is Lipstick Alley now, and see with Lipstick Alley, they a lot of stuff that doesn't get in the news, okay, or gets in there, gets in Lipstick Alley, okay, where a lot of people know a lot of people and they know the business. Okay. That's what that is. I've never been a fan of Lipstick Alley. I didn't even know what it was about until I came on YouTube and the B sector on YouTube. And I know how they talk about Lipstick Alley. Now, I also watch Bigo, which is really messy. Okay. They also make reference to Lipstick Alley. Okay. Say, now, so for my summary of Lipstick Alley is where you can get the older information or information that is not that's the only Kamora Lee Simmons I heard of. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know. That is the only Kamora Lee Simmons I know. That's the only Kamora Lee Simmons. That's why I said, okay, okay, I think I'm okay. What I think they're jumping to is said Tim's father also had a daughter. Okay. They talk about Kamora Lee Simmons' father. Okay. And apparently for it doesn't. Yeah, it jumps to, so I'm not, I don't know. I don't know what. Okay, I believe, I'm not sure. Let's see if his name comes up. No. Ooh, this is some stuff here. Okay, so I don't know what Kamora Lee has to do with any of this, but I think what they're trying to tell us is they all ran in the same circle. No, no. Right, right, right. Okay, excuse me. Right. What this is saying in Lipstick Alley is that Kimora Lee's mom, okay, was the prisoner that was raped. Okay, that's what they're saying, because they're saying that they believe she was the one um, that the mother, the woman, the woman, the prisoner. Let's go by the prisoner. They said there's no record of the prisoner ever being married to anybody with that name, okay, of the fired deputy, okay? But a paternity test was made and verified that he was the dad and he was fired, okay? So they did do that. Okay, so they're saying that they believe that Kimora Lee was the product because the lady was raped and she got pregnant. She was impregnated and she had the baby, and they believe that Kimora Lee Simmons is the baby that was the result of that rape. Okay, now why her name is jumped in here, I don't know. Okay, I don't know, right? Because they're going down and it doesn't relate. This is crazy. Okay, but they are saying that the two guys that killed Timothy's father, so he only killed one of, allegedly had one of the, oh, he only had one of the men who killed his father killed. Okay, yeah, this is some stuff right here. Okay, now why he didn't have the other man, I don't know. They don't say anything about the second man. He may have already been deceased. Yeah, but this man owned the man is two men that shot Timothy's father, Miss Robbie's man, okay, baby daddy. And one of the men, his name was Smooth Man, okay. Smooth Man had a shop, okay, uh Finish Line Auto Sales. So he had one of those car lots. Was that a car lot? And two men walked into his business and shot him to death, just like two men walked up to Tim's dad and shot him to death. Okay. And allegedly, Tim is the shooter. Now, this is all allegedly, people. It's T. Okay. This is all allegedly because nobody was convicted, nobody was charged, nobody was questioned. But word on the street is basically what this is. Okay. And they reported it. Miss Robbie used to be a gangster. Ike Turner used to be married to a lady named Lorraine Taylor, whose family owned a sausage company. When Ike Turner got with Tina and the other singer dancers, he moved them. Okay, I remember they showed that in the movie. Okay, he moved Tina into his house, and he was already married to this lady. Okay, and I remember somebody said about the movie, they were questioning on whether she was, I think in the movie she was Ike's girlfriend, I don't know, but they say white, right? And she went into the room and shot herself, right? So what they're tying there, and they're also showing you, okay, there's a lot of stuff on here you got to read. Okay, this is Lipstick Alley, and what is this? Ooh, I don't even want to lose my spot. Ooh, They said Ike Turner never hired anyone he didn't sleep with. Okay. From what we have seen that was displayed of Ike Turner, we are not surprised. Okay. They said that Ike and Tina used to pimp white women next door to a pawn shop. Okay. Oh, they just know all their business. Okay. And this is easy to know. Okay. I don't know how true it is. Oh, he wasn't all that at all. Okay. But back in the days, okay, back in these days, okay, what they're telling about these people, it makes sense because that was what was going on back in the days. Okay. And I know that for a fact. Okay. Did the people do it? I don't know. It's allegedly. Okay. And they were talking about how on here about how Miss Robbie became an Ikeette. Okay, apparently her father, the grandfather, okay, owned them before Ike got a hold of them. Okay, basically is what they're saying, and it says that they're saying that the reason Miss Robbie is still supporting Tim, okay, this is allegedly, okay, the reason that Miss Robbie is still supporting Tim, who killed her grandson, is because she's neck deep in everything he's involved in. Okay? Now, with that said, okay, I am getting the impression from reading this, which it's allegedly, because there's no proof, okay, but it's allegedly, but it doesn't surprise me. Okay. You can take the gangster out the gang, but you can't take the gang out the gangster. That type of mentality. Okay. And it doesn't surprise me, okay, one bit, okay, because that is the same type of mentality that I see in Tim. Okay. Y'all didn't know this is a toupee. I just have it on and see how, I can get away with it. Okay, you can see it's different from my regular hair because my regular hair hasn't been straightened. Okay, but this is a toupee, and I'll do a video about it. Okay, and show you guys. Okay, especially for you women out there who are experiencing hair loss, thinning hair, patches, and all that. Okay, but anyway, that is the vibe that I have gotten with Tim. And this is before the incident with Andre. Okay. Before this incident with Andre, I kind of had a funny feeling. You don't just get out of, well, you can. You can. It depends on your mindset. Okay. Right. But usually, if your mindset is changed, so are your surroundings. Their surroundings change because they're still in St. Louis. He got out of prison to come back to the same stomping grounds he was in from the get-go, from my understanding. Okay. And he did a 10-year bid in prison. And he comes out and he has a silver spoon in his mouth, so to speak, okay, through his mother's business, not only through the mom's business, okay, but also through but also through the TV, okay, the TV. So you have access to all this money. In other words, okay, I don't want to be a player no more, should be your mentality. Okay. I don't want to be a gangster, a killer no more. Okay. Because I have this and I want to take this that I have in front of me and make it legit. Now, a lot of rappers, okay, in the rap game were dope dealers. Okay. They even rap about it in their songs. Okay. And they're telling you how I went from rapping. I mean, I went from selling dope to becoming this rich rapper. Okay. And if you're smart, you're going to take your money. Okay. And a lot of these dealers, okay, no shade. And I'm saying allegedly, okay, because I ain't know nothing about it, but what they say, okay. But what they're telling you in their songs is, I sold dope, okay, to get the money to pay for the studio section, okay, session, and get this album together and stuff. It ended up being a hit. There's a lot of rappers that do the same thing and they don't make it. Some do, okay. But once you make it, okay, we here now. What are we gonna do? Are you gonna still do the same? Have that same mentality as some rappers do, and they're in prison serving life as we speak, okay? Or are you going to take that money and do something legit and turn it into something good? You see what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure you have plenty of examples, okay, of people, rappers, okay, or whatever, who have probably done that. Okay. And so, yeah, these people came from a poor background, or they needed money to pay for their studio sessions. Okay. Or even it could be something as simple as the family not believing in them. You know how your family has this good business and all of a sudden you want to be an artist, you want to be a painter. Okay. And, they don't make no money. Okay. Right. Like that. And you have to fund your own stuff. Okay, you need the money. Okay, just like these people get up here and they need a butt. They ain't got no butt, so they gonna make some money, and they get to making money. And if they good savers, okay, making good money, they gonna go and they accumulate their money and do a down payment on a BBL or breast implants. Okay, same mentality. Okay, but this right here, uh it gives me the impression, okay, like I said, okay, you can take the gangster out the gang, but you can't take the gang out the gangster. And they still have that mentality, and it shows. And she's all up into but I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised. See, ruthless is just ruthless. See. Okay, now let's see if they some more scandal, because I'm gonna have to go. This is too much. Oh, okay. Now the sister, they saying the sister. Okay, they named one of the sisters. That's the one running. I believe she's the one running the other restaurant. Okay, she knee deep in it too. I'm not surprised. Like I said, I'm not surprised. Okay. Uh, yeah. Now it said they had a brother named Fishman. Okay. Okay. So they're saying the sister Linda is knee deep into the mess too, whatever that mess is. Okay, they had a brother named Fishman. Now she had 5 brothers. Okay, I don't know which one. It doesn't say, but they said that they said that Yeah, they also had other brothers, Butch and Harold. Okay. Miss Robbie and her siblings came out of the projects. Okay. Oh, okay. So Monique's mother is Linda. Oh. So yeah, she's a Montgomery and she's got all these Montgomerys. One, two, three, four, five, six. Ooh, they just all into her background. Woo wait. But they're saying that one of Miss Robbie's brothers, okay, who went by the nickname of Fishman, okay, cut a white woman's head off and wore it around his belt buckle around town. He was arrested. He was murdered. Okay. So basically, okay, what's going on here is they telling you all this woman's business, and I'm all here for it. I'm finna go sit down and read this, okay? But this is on Lipstick Alley, people. Um, and they're telling you all about Miss Robbie and her, okay, and her upbringing because you are not gonna find this information on the internet. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to see if I can pull up some of these names, if they have any records on some of these names, because this was back in the day. Okay. And yeah, so I know the two sisters are alive. Okay. It says that Miss Robbie was the oldest of all the kids. Miss Robbie was the oldest, and she had the responsibility of all the kids, and I guess supporting all the kids. The responsibility fell on her. Okay. So when she got pregnant, ooh, they said that Tim will spend the rest of his life in jail and Miss Robbie should be sitting next to him. What do you think about that comment? Okay. Um, oh, okay. Yeah, she did. Okay. Okay, so this is supposed to be Tim's brother. And I think, oh, that's Kamora Simmons. That's Kamora Simmons. Yes. Kamora Lee Simmons. We talking about the same person, Johnny. What she has to do with it, I don't know. Okay, because it's really not saying. Okay, but what they're saying is when Miss Robbie, because Miss Robbie had to quit singing because she had her lung collapse. Okay. When she came back, they said she came back incognito. She was undercover. Okay. Well, she wasn't undercover. She came back low key. Okay. Right. And she got a job as a respiratory therapist. Okay. And okay. So yeah, so she's one of the people she knew in Hollywood. Okay. Hey, why not? Hey, you know somebody in Hollywood that got a business and you can't work no more? Yeah, you're gonna need a job. Yeah, so that is Kamora Lee Simmons. He says that Tim, on his prom night, somebody else wrote in about Tim. They're giving you background on this Tim person, okay? And yeah, because people were calling in with some tea. I remember on some of the shows, I think it was on Was it on Chronicle Speaks? People were calling in, and these are people who knew these people, okay, and knew the talk around town, or were actually there when things happened, or played parts in their growing up. And he said that on Tim, they said Tim always had money, but I guess it made note because he said on Tim's prom night, he went to the restaurant and ate and walked out without paying. So yeah, that probably stuck in his mind. Why would you do that? You always got money. But that's just like because I can. Okay, right. He also said that Tim robbed a McDonald's drive-through on a bike. He just bad. Okay. Oh, he said that when he was in high school, he was a senior, that Tim was doing drug dealing, and that he was doing stick ups. Okay, that's with a gun, stick ups. Okay, and that the crime he did 10 years for, the crime that Tim did that 10 years for, involved more than just him beating up a guy over a radio. Okay. On Super Bowl night, Tim and his friend robbed a radio store, held a man inside this whole store hostage. Okay. Uh, and beat him up. The incident was covered on the local news. Okay. So Linda is Monique's mother. Her sister Linda is Monique's mother. So I wonder, is her other sister Charles' mother? Who's Charles' mother? So they said that after Tim served his 10 years, okay, Miss Robbie awarded him with a Mercedes and a business, okay? Okay. So yeah, so this family this family ain't nothing to be played with. I tell you that. Okay, right? And this is their mentality. Okay, this is their mindset. And he talks about Tim. Tim is talking about, I don't know, this is allegedly, and I'm just summing it up. Apparently, Tim was one of those people that even though he didn't have to, he did it anyway. Okay, he didn't have to steal, he didn't have to sell drugs. Okay, but he wanted to be like everybody else around him. These are his surroundings. Okay, yes, he could have had better, but apparently he was left with his surroundings. He was left in that surrounding. It sounds like Miss Robbie did not take him out of that mentality, out of that atmosphere. She left him there. So he's got this mentality. Okay. You see what I'm saying? And people, they don't see anything wrong with it. They don't see anything wrong with this mentality. They grew up in that mentality. They grew up in that type of world. It's okay to bring their kids up in that type of world. I know she says different on her show, okay, but we talking about what she did in contrast to what she says. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So action speaks louder than words, and I noticed that too. I know she had to go make money, and she had to support the her siblings or whatever, okay? But she also left Tim in that environment with these type of people, okay? So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree is what I am going to summarize this with. And if you have any questions or corrections, be nice. Leave them in the comment section. Thank you for listening. Okay. And this is child. But I gotta go call my mama. She texts me and I gotta go straighten that up. Okay. But nevertheless, stay blessed. Bye. Oh, says edit. Oops. I hit the wrong button, guys. I hit edit instead of end stream.